Hey, 49ers fans, this show is sponsored by Manscaped, where you guys can go to their website right now, manscaped.com. Use the promo code 49ers20, get 20% off and free shipping on anything that you buy. We'll talk more about that later on in this show. Again, manscaped.com, 49ers20 is your promo code. All right, the latest 49ers news and rumors. There's some fun stuff going on today in the world of the 49ers, starting with the idea that Deebo Samuel is not just going to be good this year, he could become the best wide receiver in the National Football League. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be the best wide receiver in the National Football League, but a former teammate of his, one that you will respect his opinion, had this to say. So it all begins with the idea of Deebo Samuel obviously entering the second year of his career, right? His sophomore season as a 49er wide receiver. And the person who thinks he's going to become a star, and not just a star, a superstar, is actually his former left tackle, Joe Staley, who recently retired. The question is, how good will Deebo Samuel actually be in 2020? Now, I think right off the bat, you want my opinion, he's going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. We'll talk more about that in a second. But here is what Joe Staley had to say about Samuel, which has us all starting the show with this. Quote, basically, he's one of the most talented rookies I've ever seen. I was just telling him how important this offseason is and how he can be the greatest receiver in the NFL just to work really hard this offseason and use this as motivation. Now, that is all Joe Staley giving us what is the biggest hype you can on a guy who was a good wide receiver last year. I mean, Deebo Samuel turned out, honestly, to be the best receiver on that football team behind Emmanuel Sanders, but now assumes the role as the number one option for Jimmy Garoppolo in an offense that has a lot of other young receivers, Brandon Aiyuk and company, Trent Taylor, and Jalen Hurd, who are trying to go ahead and figure things out. Now, I want to go ahead and try and figure out how great Deebo can be this year. Now, Staley thinks, eventually in the National Football League, he can be the best wide receiver, which is, there's no reason why he couldn't. He has all the tools to actually do that. But I want to compare him to some of the wide receivers who were drafted in 2019, one in particular. So to refresh you guys, there were a lot of pretty good wide receivers taken in 2019. You look at the list. A.J. Brown to Tennessee, Terry McLaurin to Washington was kind of a surprise. You had Hollywood Brown taken in the first round, and of course, DK Metcalf taken by the Seattle Seahawks. All of those wide receivers, except for maybe Hollywood Brown in a run-heavy Ravens offense, had pretty decent years. Now, you already saw Deebo Samuel's overall stats, but I want to compare them to what A.J. Brown did in 2019, which to me shows what Deebo can go ahead and aim for and shoot for with his sophomore season. So Deebo, of course, 57 catches, 802 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Then you have a guy like A.J. Brown who had 52 catches, 1,051 yards, and 8 touchdowns. So if you're wondering what Deebo Samuel can do in his second year and could he be a star in the NFL, the best receiver in the NFL, no, he's not going to be the best receiver in the NFL next season. Again, maybe eventually, but numbers like what A.J. Brown did at Tennessee are very likely, and why I think that Deebo is going to have a breakout year. He's going to have 1,000 yards. I think that's for sure. And the touchdowns are going to come up. 3 touchdowns last year. Look for that 6, 7 to 8 touchdown range. And if he really blows up, then that could get all the way to 10 with maybe an end around, a little screen pass or running play to be able to go ahead and get to the end zone. Question for you guys here. Listen, it's all speculation. We have no idea how good he's going to be going forward. I just expect him to be very, very good, and so does Joe Staley, which is something you guys needed to hear to start off your Monday. How many touchdowns will Samuel have in 2020? I want your exact guess on an exact number, not over, under, exact guess. How many will he have? 7, 8, 9? I think 7 touchdowns is very likely, and what I would put my money on this season for Deebo Samuel. All right, moving on. This was interesting. So CBS Sports put out a list about their top 10 rookies who could win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, you remember, 49ers drafted a defensive player, number 14 overall, in Javon Kinlaw, and they had Defensive Rookie of the Year last year with the number 2 overall pick in Nick Bosa. So the question for me was, when I read the article, where would Javon Kinlaw actually be in CBS Sports' list? Because if you actually look at who was taken in the first round, there were a lot of very good defensive players. Now, before I show you guys what CBS Sports had to say about Javon Kinlaw, of course, sponsor here on this video is Manscaped and Manscaped.com. All you gotta do is go to Manscaped.com, use the promo code 49ers20, and you'll get 20% off your order. 20% off your order, plus free shipping, which in today's climate, shipping takes, normally it's taking a lot longer for things that I've been ordering, but it'll be free from Manscaped. You get the Lawnmower 3.0, which to me is one of the best grooming tools you can possibly have out there. They sent me one, and I use it basically every single week. It's fantastic. Also, you have the deodorant down there, the toner down there, all their products, again, 20% off with our promo code 49ers20, official sponsor of this video. Go ahead and check them out. Trust me, I mean, we're talking a lot about them here on the channel, and it's for a reason. It's really, really good stuff. Go ahead and use the promo code and get 20% off, and of course, I'm the one who sent you, so you can thank me in the comments section down below. So, back to CBS Sports. Here's what CBS Sports had to say about Javon Kinlaw before I actually give you their top 10 list here, so just hold on for a second. CBS Sports said this: Kinlaw was, I guess the writers, top interior defensive line prospect in this class. Yes, ahead of Derek Brown. The main reason for that? Pass rush capability. Kinlaw and Brown are almost identically sized, but Kinlaw was simply a much more efficient pass rusher in college. Pro Football Focus in 2019, the South Carolina star had a 18.1% pass rush win rate, second in the 2020 class among interior defensive linemen. Brown's was 13.7. So, looks like CBS Sports is on this whole idea of Javon Kinlaw being Defensive Rookie of the Year, but where do they put him on the list? And I want to get you guys' reaction to this list really quickly, but I was told by the bosses, yet again, that a lot of you guys have not clicked our notification bell yet to go ahead and be notified whenever we release new videos, which is weird because 20,000 of you guys, 21,000, whatever it is, have gone down and clicked the red subscribe button, meaning you want to subscribe to our videos, and yet only 19% of you guys have clicked the little notification bell. So I'm going to be like, hey, listen, if you guys subscribe, and you watch this video, and you like the channel, and you're one of the ones DMing me on Twitter and asking me questions, if you're a part of the 49er Report community, click the notification bell. It's right below this video. It's probably over here somewhere. I don't know which way it's going to be on your screen, but down below me, next to the red subscribe button, click the notification bell. Just click it. That's all you got to do. And then you'll be notified whenever we drop new stuff, including live Q&A videos, which we'll have later on this week. So click those. We would greatly appreciate it. All right, enough chit-chat. Here is CBS Sports' top 5 list to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Number 5 is Javon Kinlaw. So he was not out of the top 5. He was number 5. Now you might go, okay, you know, all this praise about him being the best pass rusher and being, you know, the best defensive tackle. Why is he number 5? Well, the rest of the list. Jeffrey Okudah at number 4. You're like, okay, it's pretty good cornerback. Isaiah Simmons, who fell all the way to number 8 in the draft, went to become an Arizona Cardinal. The Cardinals will be better, we know, this year than they were last year. That kind of makes sense. Chase Young, of course, the best pure pass rusher in the draft, number 2. And then Patrick Queen was number 1 on their list. Remember, Patrick Queen went in the 20s to the Baltimore Ravens, who I guess will be the next great middle linebacker for Baltimore. My problem with Patrick Queen being 1, because what I would have done is I would have put Young, Simmons, Okudah, Kinlaw, then Queen. I would have swapped 1 and I would have swapped 1 to 5 and then bumped everybody else up and put Kinlaw at 4. It's because we're just assuming Patrick Queen is going to be great because he's a Baltimore Raven and he plays linebacker. Like all Baltimore Ravens are going to be great linebackers. Now, first round picks that they've had, you know, you think about Mosley, that linebacker that they had, and of course Ray Lewis turned out to be pretty darn good, but it just doesn't guarantee it. So I would much rather put Kinlaw at number 4. But overall, it's an impressive list and shows that Kinlaw is expected to be a very, very talented and a very, very impactful player for the 49ers in 2020, as I've been saying all year long. 49er fans are going to love this guy. Trust me, he's going to be fantastic. Now, he's going to be playing alongside some great players. Obviously, a guy like Arik Armstead, he'll be lined up right next to him. Who will have more sacks in 2020? Are you riding the Javon Kinlaw hype train and saying he's going to have more sacks than Arik Armstead? Well, type K down below for Kinlaw. If you think Armstead, type A down below for Armstead. Armstead had a breakout year, but not a breakout year, but a really good year overall. He's been good for the past couple of years. Not really a breakout. Still was great in his sack efficiency rating for Arik Armstead, but Kinlaw could have similar numbers. I would pick Armstead over Kinlaw, but the question is up to you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Final bit of news here. And we talked a little bit about this. I have mentioned this verbally, but people disagree with me in the chat. So now we have Joe Staley's word to back it up. Joe Staley might not be as good as Trent Williams. Let me rephrase that. Trent Williams is going to be better than Joe Staley, according to the former GM of the San Francisco 49ers. So remember, Joe Staley retires, injury complications, he's getting a little old. Totally respect the move. It was the right move for Joe Staley, both professionally and personally in his home life. No worries there, especially since the 49ers traded for veteran left tackle Trent Williams. And now we have this debate, and this not really debate, I think it's more of a healthy debate, asking if Trent Williams is going to be better than Joe Staley was last year and then what Joe Staley would have been in 2020. So I'll ask you guys straight up before I give you guys the numbers, who's better, Williams or Staley? Let me know in the comment section down below. Who would you rather have right now at left tackle, Joe Staley well, we can say a healthy Joe Staley. If he was healthy, would you rather have a healthy Joe Staley or a healthy Trent Williams? That's the whole point of this segment here. To recap, this is what the 49ers gave up. I want to remind people of this because the 49ers didn't give up anything to get Trent Williams. They gave up a 2025th, so a day 3 pick in this year's draft, and a 2021 third-round draft pick. Basically nothing for one of the best left tackles in the National Football League. Now, I have said that Trent Williams is better than Joe Staley. That's why this move with the retirement is fantastic. But here, as former 49ers GM, Scott McLaughlin, I believe that's how you say his last name, Scott, saying, quote, "Don't get me wrong, but he ain't Trent Williams," talking about Joe Staley. He hasn't been Trent Williams, talking about Joe Staley. And he won't be Trent Williams when Trent Williams' career is over and you compare them. So, when you look at the 49ers starting offensive line, you look at a position like left tackle and say, okay, yeah, they got Trent Williams, who's younger and probably better. That's not exactly true. He is younger and better, but he's younger and way better than what Joe Staley was. And Joe Staley was a Pro Bowl, all-pro left tackle. No disrespect to Joe Staley. He's fantastic. One of the best Niners we've had in the past 10 years. But I wanted to emphasize how great of a player 49er fans are getting at starting left tackle, which makes the offense all the more better. You now have an offensive line as good as they come in the National Football League. You have receivers on the outside. You have running backs. You have Jimmy Garoppolo. This offense, I get questions all the time on Twitter asking, Thomas, will this offense be better than it was last year? The answer is yes, and Trent Williams is a massive, massive reason as to why that will be. I cannot wait to see what the 49ers put out in terms of total numbers, total offensive yards in 2020. There you go. All the time we have for today here on the 49ers Report. Keep you guys up to date on the latest news and rumors. We got plenty of segments and live Q&As coming up a little bit later on in the week, so stay tuned for those. For Chat Sports, I'm Thomas Mott, signing off. Enjoy the rest of your day.